Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Les Brown's Motivational Monday Night Call, your place for inspiration and motivation with world-renowned speaker, coach, trainer, author, Mr. Les Brown, featuring his platinum speakers and his 100,000 voices of hope as he is changing this world, inspiring lives, and leaving a legacy that many would wish to do by his example. My name is Stacey N.C. Grant, and I will be your host tonight for this call. We invite you to stay tuned till the end, where I'll be making announcements of how you can stay connected with Mr. Brown as well as his platinum speakers, so you too can live your best life and you can create the change in the world that you want to see. So I am so excited tonight, especially for those new callers who are here for the first time and our veteran supporters that come back again and again and again, because you are so appreciative of this platform that Mr. Brown has allowed for each and every one of you every single week. As I've mentioned before, Mr. Brown has been traveling the world, literally inspiring and changing lives, and he is back on U.S. soil, fired up and ready to go to speak with all of you tonight. So if you haven't sent out your text messages, your tweets, your Facebook posts, your Instagram post to let everyone know that Mr. Brown will be live tonight, you have about 30 seconds to do it so that they can tune in, because we are going to have an awesome time this Monday night. Mr. Les Brown, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I am great and grateful and so happy to hear your voice, Mr. Brown, and have you back on U.S. soil and talk to you tonight about what you've been up to, where you've been inspiring and changing the world. Now, Les, you've been in so many countries and continents, I just can't keep track. Can you tell us, where have you been over the past couple of months?
I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to London, England, and Amsterdam and Poland. And I'm leaving. Just got back, and I'm leaving in a week to go back to London, England. But I'm also going back to Johannesburg, South Africa, and I'm going to India. I spoke in London, England, and Amsterdam with Chris Gardner. The movie that was called The Pursuit of Happiness was based on his life with Will Smith. And you talk about just a beautiful brother, just an incredible human being, and just a great speaker, too. I enjoyed him very much, and in fact, I look forward to seeing him next week. It's been very, very exciting. One of the things that I encourage everyone to do, the ability to communicate. I cannot tell you how important it is. When Mr. Washington said to me, "Young man, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are." I had no idea, Stacey, that it would unlock a whole new world. I believe with all of my heart and soul, as I speak to you now, that you talk about the 100,000 voices of hope. I know that's a missing element. Everybody that's listening to me right now, hear me. There are people who are waiting to hear your voice. Trust me on this. They're outside of the United States. They're all around the world. There's some of them in the United States. But there's a whole world out here. Let me give you an example. A lady named Kim Wee, she heard my voice. She was in Los Angeles. She lives there, and she went to San Diego for a business deal. It did not come through. She heard one of my cassette tapes on the way back. She decided to become an entrepreneur. She does over $500 million worth of volume in the business that she's in. Now, to showing you the power of listening to positive messages. So she invited me to speak in Hong Kong. The audience, all Chinese, they could only understand 18% max of what I was saying.
Mm.
At the end of my presentation, the women as well as the men were crying. It was unbelievable. I was taken aback, and I asked her, and she was emotional, and she was crying. I said, "Why is everybody crying? They can barely understand me." She said, "Even though they can barely understand you, they felt you in their heart. You said that you have greatness within you." She said, "In our culture, people are worked until they just drop, and then they go on to the next person. No one validates us like that. No one is telling us that." And they felt not only that you said it, but they felt it in their heart. It was an awakening. And it just gave them a vision of themselves beyond their circumstances. I believe that there are certain people that when I speak, Stacy, they will hear me in their mind and in their heart. But there are certain people, when you speak, they will hear you in their mind and in their heart. And I really want you to, if you can work the schedule out and talk to Dr. Julie, I really want you to go to South Africa with me because they will love you. And also London, England. It's another place. The energy is phenomenal. I'm going back real soon. Now, give you another example. A young man, now this is really another situation. A young man named Lucas, he came up on stage when I spoke in London, England, and he said that about 4 years ago, his mother was in a fire, and she died a few days later, and he lost himself. He said, and he speaks Polish, he said, "I had no sense. I was just wandering around." And someone gave him one of my motivational tapes, "You Got to Be Hungry."
Mm.
And he listened to that. And Lucas decided, here's just an average, everyday person showing you the power of a message, the power of a story. He decided to bring me to Poland. Now, mind you, when I speak internationally, I charge $125,000 an hour. He brought me to Poland along with another individual who brought me to Sweden. And let me tell you what happened. He came and spoke in London, England. He's bringing out, and when I came to Poland, he had a full house, about 3,000 to 4,000 people there. Now he's bringing me back with Nick Vujicic in a stadium with over 40,000 people. Do you hear me?
Wow.
40,000. Now, here's the point that I'm making, that in this economy, it's interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine, Mildred Gaddis, out of Detroit. She's a talk show host there. I said, I'm doing an event on August the 9th. I'm doing this event with Kim and Anthony in New York on August the 9th. But here's what I'm about to do. I'm freezing my schedule in the United States. And Stacy, I'm going to spend the rest of my life speaking internationally. You know why? Stacy, they are hungry. They're hungry. See, they have an achievement-driven culture. They're looking for something to give them the competitive edge. In our country, we have an entertainment-driven culture. Case in point, they had an event in Detroit, and they pay thousands of dollars for entertainment, over $400,000 budget, $400,000 budget for entertainment. So like the Essence Festival and all those type of events. So, but in the international market, these people are hungry. They're looking for ways, one, to transform their mindset, two, to upgrade their skill set, and three, they're looking for collaborative, achievement-driven relationships that can help them get to the next level. Now, I've had seminars and workshops where we had people to look at their 1-year goals and their 2-year goals and their 3-year goals and their 5-year goals. Listen, I was in a place where I had to speak. I was the last speaker, and before I came up, they were talking about their 50-year goals. They were talking about for their kids and for the generation yet unborn. It's a different kind of mindset of seriousness, of drive and determination, of not willing to settle, not willing to live a small life. And Stacy, listen to me clearly on this. I want to save you some time. Don't spend time trying to convince people who are not of the consciousness that you are. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy, and it will deplete your energy. What you have to do is work with the willing. Work with the willing. Those of you that are listening to me right now, trust me on this. I feel so fortunate because I spent time, I cannot tell you the conversations and the arguments and the yelling and screaming, talking with my brothers and sisters, and none of them changed. I mean, I'm zero. They love me, and I love them, and I just got on their last nerve. I just got on their last nerve. They just got sick of me. They got sick of me. They didn't want no advice. They just want some money. They want no motivation. No, you know, let me tell you something. I'll never forget. I was walking in New York. I had my talk show then. And so I saw a guy, and as I was approaching him, he was a panhandler. And I said, hello, how you doing, brother? He said, fine. He said, could you give me a little something so I can have breakfast? I said, I'm going to do one better than that. He said, what? I said, come on, we're going to have breakfast together. I said, I want to hear your story. So we started walking toward a McDonald's, and I was going to purchase breakfast for him. So I got a phone call, and I started talking, and I started laughing. He said, hey, I know that laugh. Are you Les Brown? I said, yes. He turned around and started walking away from me. I said, hey, come on, aren't we going to have breakfast? He said, no, and he started running from me. And so I started running behind him, and then he was running between the cars, and I was running behind him. I said, come on, why can't we have breakfast? Come on. He says, no, I don't want no motivation. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. He ran across the street. I want no motivation. You can try to motivate me. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. First of all, I can't believe I'm 70. And so I went to the barber shop today. You know, when you had time to come out of here, they cut your hair. All the gray come out, you know. And this is my 70th year on the planet. If there's anything that I've learned that I want to share with people, is make a decision. And I did this. I wanted to make my life count. And I wanted to live a meaningful life. I wanted to make a difference. That's why we have the post at our Facebook, brown.les. There are people all over the world that's reading that. I'm writing one tonight. And what I realized when I look back over my life, and I'm so fortunate, I feel so blessed that God has spared me, that he's given me grace, that a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, and that the people of high consciousness have to come together, just like you handling this call, and the platinum speakers coming on. Ruben was going to do the interview tonight, because what my goal is, and I strongly believe this, and Jake said this, that there is no success if you don't have successors. And I can tell you, Stacy, I want you to get ready, pack your stuff. There are people waiting for you in London, England. There are people waiting for you in Amsterdam. There are people waiting for you in Singapore. I'm going to Singapore in about 3 weeks. There are people waiting to hear your voice in South Africa. I mean, that's really, you talk about phenomenal. That's really an incredible place to go to the place where Nelson Mandela lived, to go and see where he was held in prison, to speak to people who are hungry. When I did a workshop and we left the room for a while and came back and they had an assignment for working on a 21-day strategy for their dream, and different people say, you tell him, you ask him. I said, what's going on? And they said, how do you do that? I said, what are you talking about? How do you dream? How do you do that? Because you lived there 21 years outside of apartheid. And so they couldn't dream. They could have goals. They couldn't do that. That was not an option. And so overcoming the psychic disrepair, there are things that we take for granted. That's a luxury in the countries where I'm going. It's a luxury. Things that we take for granted. The opportunity to live your dream, the opportunity to upgrade your knowledge, the opportunity to travel around the world.
Wow.
I mean, just imagine living in a country where the average income is $33 a year. How do you survive off that? And so there's so much that we have to offer people around the world. So my goal is, and I'm just glad that God has given me the strength to open up these various markets, to pair a place when I win, and God has given me the strength and the power and the passion. I've still got the juice, though. Don't let this gray hair fool you. You can't see it. I know it. I got about 5 gray eyelashes. I said, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going to use no mascara on my eyelashes. I'm not going to be no diva up in here. I can't believe it. I can't dye my eyelashes, and I can't use mascara. I just can't go there. So you wait till she tells that over. She coming from London, England, and she went on to college and paid her way through college. She's an attorney, a family attorney, and wanted to be a voice for voiceless kids who've been abused like herself. So there are so many people who have stories, who want to travel the world and make a difference in people's lives and tell their stories and build a business around that. And so it's very exciting. So they've asked me to train in South Africa and in Amsterdam and in London, England. And so I'm going to be training speakers in these countries. And so I'm freezing my schedule. Whatever events I have here, that's going to be it. And then we're going to spend the rest of my time and energy working there. And I'm looking to bring some of my grandkids over to just be a part of the cultures, seeing different cultures, different people working in different countries. It's so exciting. It's a big world out here. So
I know it
that's
is,
my
Les.
long answer.
Well, and I love the answer. And when you just said that last piece about the cultures and all the people out there who are hungry for information and to work with the willing, what can you say is the maybe 1 or 2 things that impressed you the most about the different cultures that you've been visiting and speaking with and working with? What stands out for you coming from this society where we are entertainment driven, where people want to pay for concerts if they won't invest in themselves? What was it that really struck you while you were there watching these other cultures and how they resonated with your voice?
What stood out to me is how resourceful people are, how they can take something that we would throw away. For instance, in South Africa, it was not unusual to see young men standing with garbage bags in the streets at lights, and when people would drive by, they would throw trash in the bags. And then they would take the trash to the side of the road and probe through it for food or something that they could perhaps make something out of it and sell it. That got me. The people living in tents. To see real poverty. We don't know real poverty here. In a country where there's no safety net, there's no such thing as welfare, food stamps. None of this exists. And so, but to see someone who would go out to the beach and take up conch shells or snails and coconuts and make something out of it. The leaves, make something out of it. Carve something on some wood and sell it. The street vendors, that the resourcefulness and the drive, and still find a way to be happy, still find a way to find joy and spirituality and strength and have hope. We're spoiled. We're spoiled. It's that we take so much for granted in this country. When I'm coming through customs, I'm singing, God bless America. Let me tell you something. I love going, but I love coming back home. Oh, my God. I can live, I know that I can live in St. Lucia. I can live in South Africa. I can live in London, England. The area where I went to was phenomenal, and there's nothing like Vince was there and Dr. Julie, and they were phenomenal as speaking and training and building the relationships with people, because it's really about. Today, you have to create a global network of partners. So Veronica and Richard Tan, this couple, they have the largest seminar company in the world, and they have events all around the world. So to be in relationship with people like them, they have exclusive rights to Tony Robbins internationally and T. Harv Eker, the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and Tom Hopkins, and they've just finished touring with Chris Gardner. We opened together, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm excited about the transition too. I mean, just the training of you and Star and the other speakers, the Andys, the Dwights, the Rubens, the other speakers, and I'm opening up markets where when you come, they'll be ready for you. I mean, they'll be hungry. But the internet has made it a smaller world. And so one of the things that I would suggest for you and all the speakers is that we must meet about putting more things out there, using Barbara Pender and Makiva Walker for the social media and online courses. But most importantly, focusing on the keynote message. Because when I came in, everybody was saying, are you going to tell how you became a disc jockey? Are you going to tell how you became a disc jockey? They wanted to hear you got to be hungry. We know about Malcolm X, By Any Means Necessary, Dr. Adam Clayton Powell, Keep the Faith, Baby, Dr. Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream. So T.D. Jakes, Woman Thou Art Loose, the President Barack Obama, the Democratic Convention, Yes We Can. So you have a message that resonates with people, and there are people who will gravitate to that, and they want you, even though they've heard it over and over again on YouTube, when you come, just like we hear music on the radio, and then when the artist comes to town, we will pay to go to hear the artist sing the song that we already purchased and heard it over and over again at home. So that's the same thing with your message. with what it is you say, and people have said with you. When I say drink, rock, drink, I could see the audience lips moving because they've heard it over and over and over again. You got to be hungry. And when I went into, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, when I went there, they all stood up and they were going with me all the way through. I was saying, wow, to see the Chinese, to see people from Vietnam, the Vietnamese, to see people, Japanese, to see people from Brazil, from Bolivia. I mean, it's just all these different cultures that's saying your words with you. It's humbling. It's humbling.
That is amazing, Les. Truly, we've been telling everyone about how you've been touring, how you've been inspiring lives and spreading hope. And when you just mentioned earlier in your talk, Les, about the group in South Africa that said, you ask him, no, you ask him, how do you dream? That is so major. How do you dream? The things that we take for granted, the liberties that we have. Like you said, Les, we're spoiled. And we really don't realize how much we've been given. You tell us day in and day out, there is greatness inside of you. And until we believe that to be true, until we start implementing the things that you have been able to share on this platform and inspired the rest of us who work with you to create our signature message and to create the information that is changing lives, we'll never be able to leave the legacy that is so needed. And I mean, hearing you talk about your experiences, not only is my suitcase packed and my outfits are in order, I am just excited about touching the hearts of those who are yearning to hear the voices of hope that will be traveling with you on these platforms and helping them to see a greater picture, a greater version of who they will be in the world. So I know that you only have a few more limited engagements here in the United States, one being in New York, August 9th, and I'm going to be announcing information about that. So I definitely want the audience to know that they want to see you live, Les, in United States of America. They have about 2 more opportunities right now. There's also a training in Orlando, Florida on the 15th and 16th where you'll be with your children, the First Family of Motivation. I know you're excited about that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that right now?
Yes, I am, because my oldest son, Calvin, is appearing with me for the first time. And my oldest daughter, Ona, we've always spoken together, but this is Calvin's first time. And my son, John Leslie, he's coming from California. He's cut his locks. You won't believe John Leslie when you see him. He's phenomenal. John Leslie is a father now. He's maybe a grandfather. And this will be the first event where my great-grandson will be there. His name is Eric. So I'm having my granddaughter, Miasha, to bring my great-grandson there so he can hear his great-grandfather speak for the first time. He's just a few months old, but he'll still give me a standing ovation. So it's, I told my kids, I said, look, none of us know how much time we have left. And so to me, what I wanted to do was do something with Calvin, with Ona, with John Leslie. I'm also working to get Patrick to come down, and that's my second oldest son, and my daughter, Samia. You haven't seen her. She's more talented than all of them together. She's a speaker, and she's a writer, but she doesn't do it much. But she texted me the other day and said, Daddy, I'm ready to speak. And I texted her back, and I said, why? Because she's been very heavy in the church. I said, why? She said, I'm tired of being broke. I said, okay. So I'm going to bring her there. So for the first time, but I want to speak with my friends and my family. I've got one last, if I had a wish, I'd like to get Willie Jolly, Kevin Bracey, Dwight Fletch, all the guys and the ladies that I've trained, and have, how they had that tour called the Kings of Motivation? I want to have the kings and queens of motivation, where you have Johnny Wimbrey and Ed Blunt. All the ones that have gone through the training that we will take 3 days in Orlando and speak and have it videotaped. I would like just to see, and I don't want to speak, I just want to see the growth and development of all the speakers that I've had the opportunity to be a part of their lives and a part of their growth and development. And so that's what I'm working to. That's my real big dream. I had 2 things I wanted to do: speak with the majority of my kids, and to speak with the majority of the people that I've had an opportunity to train over the years. And then so I'm not going to retire, Stacy, but what I'm going to do, because this is my 70th year on the planet, and so 7 is my lucky number. You know, Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times, and Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. Did I tell you 7 is my lucky number? My number is 702. My Social Security number is 267. My address is 877. Did I tell you 7 is my lucky number? I'm one of 7 children. And so at any rate, I'm looking forward to doing something maybe for 7 days of speaking and training and motivating and coaching, where we all work together and have it over the internet for 7 straight days, streamed around the world. That's my big dream up in here.
Well, we're going to make it happen. That's what we do. We make things happen. We don't sit around waiting for them to happen, and we are going to do that. Sounds absolutely awesome, Mr. Brown. And we are
can we take some questions from the audience?
Yes, we can take the questions before we do the announcements. I just wanted to make sure we let the world know how they can see you live. And then you'll also be a part of a program that I'm doing, talking about It's Not Over Till You Win. So I'm excited about that. But let's put the call in Q&A mode. So, audience, you've been patiently waiting to hear Mr. Brown live. So I'm going to open up the call, and you're going to press *6 to unmute your lines if you have a question or a comment for Mr. Brown tonight.
All callers are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Now go right ahead and press *6 with your question or comment for Mr. Brown.
Hello?
Hello?
My name is Samantha.
Yes, hello?
Can I have a
Hello?
question? My name
Okay,
is
we're going to
Samantha.
take one person. Okay, the lady's voice, one person at a time. You can go right ahead, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Samantha, Sacramento, California. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? I was calling. I'm trying to reach Ona Brown, and I emailed her, and I went to her website, but I haven't gotten a response back. So I want to try to reach her to invite her to speak. Is there a phone number for her?
Okay, here's what to do. Email me at yes@lesbrown.com, and I'll get it to her. Okay, I'll call her tonight. And email me your number, your phone number. Okay, what is your name?
Okay, my name is Samantha Layler.
Okay, good. Samantha, email me at yes@lesbrown.com, yes@lesbrown.com, and she'll call you tonight.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Les Brown. It's Samantha from Sacramento, California. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. Okay. Hello?
Hey,
Mr. Brown, this is Stanley out of Orlando, Florida.
Hello?
Okay,
Les,
Tim.
this is Ray Burchard.
1 minute, Ray. Tim first, then Ray, and then we'll take the other caller. Go ahead, Tim. Tim? We have background noise, so if anybody has background noise, if you've unmuted your handset, please mute your phone.
You know
so
what?
that we can hear the
You know
call.
what I need you to do, Stacey? I need you to investigate. There's got to be a service. I know there is because I've been on it, where the person can raise their hand. You can pull them up one at a time, and you won't have the kind of confusion that we have now. Okay?
Yes.
And I want you to work on that tomorrow, and then we'll be able to do this next week, because it's hard for people to get through, and everybody's speaking at the same time.
All callers are muted.
It is,
Yeah.
and we have quite a bit of background noise, so we will have the team investigate that.
Yeah, let everybody know where I'm going to be in New York, and I'm excited about being there. Vane, a young man that I'm working with out of Houston, Texas. He's going to be there. He's a new, young, and up-and-coming speaker that we're going to showcase there. You're going to be with me with Anthony and Kim in New York, and we're going to be at the Rock Church, and I'm excited about being there. That's another part of my extended family. And tell them about the event that you're having, okay?
I definitely will, Les. We love you. We thank you for your voice, for your work, for your mission. You are creating 100,000 Voices of Hope internationally, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to work with you, to be able to do this change of legacy for so many people, like that group that told you, how do we dream? Les, you don't know how that's touched my spirit tonight. It inspired me even more to keep eating my hot peppers on a fork, pack my suitcase, and get ready to hit the international airways with you.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Take care. I love you. Take care now.
Love you
Bye-bye.
too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry we couldn't keep the call completely open because there was a lot of background noise, but I want you to know how you can see Mr. Brown live in the United States before he starts international travel again. I also want to be able to share with you how you connect with all of his platinum speakers from the beginning of the week and back to the Monday night call every single Monday. So the first event that's coming up on August 9th will be in New York, New York. It is going to be at the Rock Church in Queens, New York, 5702 Hoffman Drive in East Elmhurst. If you are interested in attending this event, we'd like to give you that information so that you can go ahead and register. You can call 718-395-5622. That's 718-395-5522. And you can also go to tinyurl.com/Les Brown 2014 so that you can register. You can also go to Les Brown's Facebook page where the information about the August 9th event is listed, and that's brown.les on Facebook. The first Family of Motivation, the special training that Mr. Brown will be live for in Orlando, Florida, will be held August 15th and 16th of this year. You can call 954-274-0900. That's 954-274-0900. And you can get more information about registering for this event where he'll be featuring his children, the first Family of Motivation. This will be at the Radisson Resort, Orlando Celebration. So once again, that's 954-274-0900 to get additional information, or visit lesbrownuniversity.com to see the post. You also have an opportunity to hear Mr. Brown as a part of a special series that I will be doing. It's Now or Never, and you can log on to his Facebook page to see more information, or go straight to mine, www.stacieNCgrant.com. That's www.stacieNCgrant.com to register for this special series. The first 10 people that register will be able to go to the event in New York live with me and Mr. Brown on August 9th. So make sure you log on to www.stacieNCgrant.com for further information. So we thank you for tuning in to Les Brown's Motivational Monday Night Call. We thank all of our new callers for your first time here. For those who continue to return, we want to answer your questions, hear what you have to say. You can post your messages on brown.les. That's brown.les on Facebook, so Mr. Brown can still answer some of the questions that you had tonight. We thank you once again. We look forward to hearing your voices next week, Monday, same time and location. And we want you to continue to understand, feel, and know that there is greatness inside of you. And we are determined to be here as your cheerleaders and voices of hope as you live your best life. Bye-bye, everyone. This is Stacey N.C. Grant signing off.